piece we put the collage on a little earlier. It's dry enough now that I can use this large oil pastel by Sennelier. They come in a very giant size. They work really well over pieces that are dry. They don't work so well over wet pieces. So you want to use them when they're dry to make last minute touches. Let's move on to this piece in progress. This is on multimedia artboard. You don't have to gesso it. You just start in painting. And I think I started this in a class I was teaching, and it's a demo. It looks like it might even have collage on it. Let's try again. Some marks with our giant oil pastel, and you can see how well it works when things are dry. I'll just kind of show you how to veil it. You cover it up, you bring a little bit back, but it makes it subtle. So I use the oil pastels a lot for extra mark making. You can also use R&F pigment sticks. So it's easy to confuse these two, especially when they get small and the labels are obscure. But one way you can tell is if you use the pigment sticks. I mean, that's just very close in color. I can actually use this like paint. It's pigment and wax, but not as much wax as we have in cold wax, medium. But this can be used to glaze a piece. This is an opaque color. We're going to end up really changing this. Now let's try a transparent color. And I cut a piece off of this pigment stick. You can see it makes a nice effect where I have mixed the two together. And again, I'm getting this really nice paint effect on it. Sometimes I use these at the very tail end of a painting to bring it all together. Let's try that here. Now I'm mixing the two colors of R&F pigment sticks together. Here's another way to use the R&F pigment sticks. This is a large one, tail end of it, but there's still a lot here. I'm using it on this tissue paper, kind of randomly. And so I reverse it. And brayer it on. This is a dry piece. It works best if you have a dry piece that you're brayering this on. Okay, yes, we got some nice marks there. Then I can take the same piece, turn it around, and really try to brayer that in. I'm using the brayer pretty hard here. There it goes. So that's some great marks to activate the beginning of a piece. Now you can use it directly on, but it is just like paint, so it's going to take quite a while to dry. But this shows how you can do it. You see, I'm getting this very thin. Let's try some of this over it. That's better. Now this is the R&F pigment stick again. But some of this is still dry. So we can bring in our giant pastel. You see, when I try to use the pastel in the wet pigments, it doesn't work very well. But it works great on the areas that are dry. Well, this is fun. Obviously this painting will go through a lot of changes, but sometimes it's really fun just to practice your mark making while you're getting started. And you can do marks in your marks with a bamboo skewer or just a bit of your painting knife. So this is probably going to need to dry for a while before I come back at it. Oh, we got a little white by mistake. That's cool. Maybe we can get away with a little more of that. This is just paint and wax here. It's picking up some of the color underneath. Okay. Make this very soft. Now that's pretty thick there. I'm going to make it more textured. I do it brayering very softly with tissue paper. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, so now I have a lot going on here. Time to let it dry, and who knows what it will become of it, but it's very fun to start with marks, and it's also really nice to end with marks, as I showed you in the beginning of this section.
Mm-hmm.